Good day and welcome to PMR Africa's podcast, PMR Global, where we always celebrate excellence and acknowledge companies, individuals, and teams across various industry sectors. We began this initiative as an extension of our various PMR platforms. Our web address is www.pmr.africa.com, and the magazine is freely available on the World Wide Web. PMR Africa includes a magazine, a research division, our events division, and the podcast initiative. PMR Africa works nationally in South Africa and throughout the SADC region. And today we are honored to have Berenice Pretorius as our guest today. Berenice is the director of Afrizan Academy. And Afrizan People Intelligence is a prominent South African talent consultancy and workforce solutions provider, established over 40 years ago and headquartered in Johannesburg. It specializes in recruitment, temporary employment services, and talent advisory. Welcome, Berenice, and thank you for joining us on this podcast episode. We appreciate your time and your willingness to participate today.
Thanks, Johan. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Berenice, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you come from? Give us a brief overview of yourself, your childhood days.
Okay, so I was just chatting to a colleague and saying, I started working at the age of 10, slave labor back in the day. My parents had a flower shop and I used to assist them. And then after that, I used to work at Clicks in school holidays. So, I think that has fashioned me to who I am in terms of being a leader who creating opportunities in solving problems. And it has built my work ethic around being responsible and consistent in my approach. So, starting from a young age, looking back, I think this is what has built me into the leader that I believe that I am today.
Yeah, great, excellent. And you touched on that just now. Your leadership style. How do you define it?
Okay.
Democratic, transformational coaching.
I know people talk about servant leadership, but I do believe that is something that I embody. I believe in creating opportunities for other people. I believe in leading from behind. I am my staff's biggest supporter. There's nothing that brings me more joy than when I see people succeed in something that they feel or they didn't believe they were capable of. So my style of leadership is servant leadership, and supporting and coaching people into being better people for themselves.
Excellent. And what would you say? What's the most important attributes of a successful leader today, and with that, your core leadership philosophy?
So for me, I believe that authenticity and adaptability is very important, and emotional intelligence. We downplay the intelligence of being with people and talking and understanding where they come from and what
Sure.
they're going through. And
Yeah.
also resilience in this economy or in the world we live in today. As a leader, you need to be resilient. People come and people go. Um, businesses, one day we're on the up, one day we're not.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
about being resilient and being able to ride that wave,
Yeah.
is what sets leaders apart.
If we look at team culture and people development, how would you say, how do you keep your team motivated despite the obstacles? You mentioned now resilience. And how do you keep your team motivated despite these obstacles on basically a daily basis that we face?
So, creating a culture of inclusivity and openness is one thing, and then also the just creating, we celebrate the big wins, we celebrate the small wins,
Sure.
and we also just look at everyone's contribution to the bigger picture. So it's
Yeah.
about including everyone and saying, you know what, this is our strategy, and we break it down into its smaller parts so that we
Yeah.
get everyone involved,
Sure.
everyone's on board,
Yeah.
and we bring everyone into the fold. So there's no one standing on the outside
Yeah.
watching everyone
Exactly.
else perform the functions. And that is how we keep staff engaged and motivated.
And how do you look up for inspiration or mentorship?
That I sat with that question for a while, and I don't actually have a particular person that I admire, but I do admire leaders who combine strong business acumen with genuine care for people.
Yeah.
And the leaders I admire most are those who create sustainable business success while developing others, leading
Yeah.
with integrity and leaving a positive impact on the communities that they serve. And while I don't have a single leadership role model, I am inspired by South African leaders such as Patrice Motsepe, Adrian Go, Dr. Imtia Suleiman,
Sure.
that demonstrate sustainable success is achieved by
Yeah.
combining strong leadership and business acumen. So there's a few people, and
Yeah.
if you look at their leadership styles, you know, the whole idea around a business is building a strong business who have strong business acumen and being able to bring people along with you on the journey.
Excellent. And when you hire a new employee, what's the most important traits you look at when hiring a new employee? I
For
guess you're
our
going to say resilience.
Absolutely. In our industry, Johan, it's important to be resilient because we get more no's than we do yeses. So,
Yeah.
especially when you're doing business development or when you're doing recruitment,
Sure.
it does become tough. So we need people who are resilient, people who can bounce back easily
Yeah.
from a disappointment. We also look for integrity in this and accountability, and also people who are able to adapt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the market swings and in the economy we live in, we must be able to one day be able to recruit for the CEO, and the next day we must be able to recruit for 100 learners.
On a different
Um,
level. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit more about the academy and then also the Afrizan People Intelligence story, the background, development status. Um, Tell us a little bit about how the company was founded and how it has evolved.
Sure. So Afrizan was started about 40 years ago by our fearless leader, Elvira Riccardi. And it started off as being an inclusive, I think back in the day, it was just be pre-apartheid or whatever, about being inclusive of giving everyone equal opportunity. And
Yeah,
that has
sure.
kind of been our underpinning value, is that we embrace everyone, across cultures and beliefs, and make them part of our workforce.
Yeah,
And over the years, we have evolved. So what started off as a traditional a recruitment business. We've evolved into lead different workforce solutions. We do recruitment, we do outsourcing, we do youth development, we have a BPO, we have contact centers,
Yeah,
functional outsourcing. So Afrizan has evolved over time into more of a people solutions business.
sure. And if we look specifically at the brand, what would you say? What does the Afrizan brand represent?
Oh, our brand is very important to us. Our brand represents people, potential, partnership, and performance. We are a purpose led organization and we're passionate about people and development. This is also rooted in our philosophy of impact sourcing and the uplifting of communities, as well as
Yeah,
the continuous learning to enable career mobility. So,
yeah,
in our call centers, we do quite a bit of impact sourcing. We go into the areas around us, Alex, whatever,
yeah.
and we give opportunities into our call center. In our call center, they then get exposed to different training. Um, and contrary to a call center or contact center ethos, we don't want our people to stay. We want to bring them in, we want to train them, we want to
So,
equip them so that they can move on to the next level. We
yeah,
want to create people who are going to contribute to the economy in a positive way.
okay, great. With a brand, also goes accompanies uniqueness. So, what's unique about Afrizan?
Our uniqueness comes in our ability to pivot, Johan. It is our ability to combine our expertise that we've gained in recruitment, our human insight, integrated workforce solutions
Yeah,
to create measurable impact to our clients. So, um, we'll talk a little bit more about Afrizan and the solutions that we offer. It's all integrated. So from recruitment to training to deployment, everything is integrated so that it all comes into one place. And that is what makes us unique in the market is our service, our delivery model, and then also the quality of our people that we present to our clients.
yeah,
So we don't want to call partnering with our clients. We want to build strong relationships
yeah,
so
yeah.
that we can understand what's happening in this space and build bespoke solutions around solutions for them or solutioning for the client.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And with that goes innovation. So,
Yes.
to keep it unique, you must keep on innovating. How do you do that?
So innovation means continuous improvement, right? And one of the things that if I've got to look at from an innovation perspective, we started as a people business, but we also do contact center, we do RPO. Um,
Okay.
if we had been a one, just played in one space, I don't think we'd be here after 40 years. Markets change, industries change,
Exactly.
and we have to stay abreast or ahead of that, kind of anticipate what the market wants, and then to
Exactly.
build accordingly. And
Yeah.
I think that is what has kept us in this game for so long. Is
Yeah.
we always reading, we always seeing what's happening in markets overseas, trying to
Yeah.
see how will this impact the industry locally.
Yeah.
Sometimes they call it the bleeding edge, but it's fine. We'll go out there and
Yeah.
and we'll try and innovate. But that is, I think, a very very big differentiator for
Yeah.
us. Is just
Yeah.
staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Great. Um, to create trust in the abilities of Afrizan, what would you like to communicate to existing and potential clients, as well as your role players and your stakeholders?
What I can say to our future clients and our current clients is that your trust is not misplaced. Um, we have a robust recruitment engine room, if I want to call it that, from C-suite executives right down to graduates. We take everything we do quite seriously. Career is serious. Whether we're engaging with a CEO or with a graduate, we want that experience to be the same because today's graduate is tomorrow's CEO. So
Exactly. Yeah.
relationship is important for us. How
Yeah.
we engage with people is important to us. Um, so yeah, in that regard, I think the trust is well placed
Yeah.
if they partner with Afrizan.
Yeah. And what would you say? What is Afrizan's view on ethics in the business world and the workplace?
So, I was looking at this and thinking, how do you run a business without ethics? It is a
Yeah.
non-negotiable in our
With
space.
the ethics, sorry to interrupt you there. With the
Okay.
ethics, if we can, with that, if you can also just touch on the values of a company.
Oh, sure. I'm happy to do that. So for ethics, ethics are non-negotiable. We believe that trust, transparency, accountability, and responsible business practice form the foundation of sustainable success. We hold ourselves to the highest standards of professionalism and integrity in every interaction. So we won't place on our clients what we don't place on ourselves or on our staff to do. And
Yeah.
then our values are also very much aligned to that, where I think every company's values includes integrity, professionalism,
Yeah.
accountability. Those are all values and ethics that we hold quite closely, and which
Right.
is part of our culture. We expect people to take accountability for their actions, and it's not to beat them down. It is once you are being held accountable, you can learn from your mistake, and we move
Exactly.
forward from that. So that's
Yeah.
important for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that goes Afrizan's reputation. You want to talk a bit about that, your reputation?
So Afrizan's reputation has been built on our unwavering commitment to service excellence and quality. We always joke about the fact that Elvira is Italian. She believes in quality in everything, from the people we engage to the shoes that she wears.
Yeah.
So it's quality is a non-negotiable. It has always been from the first day we started the business, or the
Yeah.
business was started. We don't compromise on our standards, and we set for ourselves all the solutions that we deliver to our clients. Our
Yeah.
deep understanding of the South African workforce landscape, combined with our ability to consistently deliver results, has earned us the trust of clients
Yeah.
across
Excellent.
multiple industries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. How do you ensure excellent and professional service by your staff?
So in terms of service delivery, our staff are trained. We do skills development. We do what is also important for us is client feedback. So if we think we're doing
Okay.
something great, and the
Yeah.
client comes back and says, "I didn't enjoy this aspect," it gives us time to go back to review our process, recalibrate,
Yeah.
and this is just so that we can stay abreast and to stay fresh in the market.
Yeah.
So so training is taken seriously. We listen in on candidate on our calls with our clients and candidates. We coach, we mentor. A lot of it is on the job. I think that's the best place to learn. Um,
Sure.
so that is how we ensure that staff
Yeah.
continue rendering excellent service to our
Excellent. Yeah.
clients.
Yeah. And with that goes acknowledgement and motivation of your staff, um, and then also, to make sure that they're well trained. How do you do that?
So, in terms of acknowledgement and motivation of staff, we celebrate everything. We celebrate birthdays, we celebrate small placements, big placements,
Small
uh,
wins. Also, yeah.
small wins all the time. So, because it's very easy to forget about the small win, it becomes a slog, a drive, because you've got a target, you've got a number
Yeah.
that you need to make.
Of course.
So, so in terms of our acknowledgement and motivation, is we celebrate on the floor, we make a noise, you get a little gift, we dance.
Yeah.
It takes the drudgery out of the everyday.
Yeah.
That is just one part of it. And then we also, what sets us apart is also our development of our people.
Yeah.
We cultivate an environment where team members can learn and grow. And while we encourage people to be responsible for their own development, we do provide the support in their development.
Okay.
Um, so if they identify a cause that's going to make them better at what they do,
Yeah.
we will support that. We also identify well, there's standard training that we do, but
Yeah.
sometimes, especially in the world of AI, everyone wants to know about
Yeah.
Claude and things like that. So if they identify a cause that's going to enhance their service delivery, it is supported by the business.
Yeah, and I suppose AI is going to have a huge impact also on your industry.
It definitely is already.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
would you say? What sets Afrizan apart from other similar companies?
Because I
What do you do differently, and your challenges that you are mastering in the process?
okay, so for us, it's not just about putting a bum in a seat. We build workforce solutions. So on the academy side and with Youth Excels, we assist clients in building talent pools in, we're always talking about the brain drain and the skills gaps in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
market.
yeah,
We encourage through our Youth Excels arm service offering, we encourage corporates to take graduates with little to no work experience into their
okay.
workspace.
Yeah,
People with a high potential, and we walk this journey with them. We hold their hand with the
yeah,
client,
yeah,
with the candidate, to build that skill. And I think that is what sets us apart is. Our integrated approach across the business. We can bespoke, we can tailor make a service offering, once we understand what
yeah,
the client is struggling with in terms of skill, if we need to go offshore, if we need to buy the skill.
yeah, yeah,
So as a partner, a trusted and a valued partner, that is
yeah.
what sets us apart in the industry.
Excellent. You already touched on this. I don't know if you want to add a little bit more about the Academy and Afrizan's offerings.
Sure. Oh, so if we need a separate podcast for Afrizan's offerings.
Yeah,
So I will just touch lightly on all our service offerings. So we do have like I said, integrated approach. We have
yeah,
our recruitment solutions, which is your traditional recruitment, which I think everyone knows how that works. And then we've got contracting and professional services. That's
yeah,
new. That's new in our space, where we clients are finding it difficult to find skills onshore. We will find skills offshore for the client.
yeah,
And then our outsourced and managed workforce solutions, this is more on our blue collar side. We also offer RPOs, recruitment process outsourcing, where we will take
yeah,
over part or a whole function in the recruitment line service. We offer our BPO, which is our business process outsourcing, which is the contact center arm of the
yeah.
business. We offer in our academy, we do learning and development. Our academy is quite new, but this is a fantastic offering, because when we run initiatives like yes initiatives for clients or learnerships for clients, we can then offer the training component,
Yeah,
as well as house the candidate on behalf of the employer. Because
yeah, yeah,
with learnerships, you have 100 graduates walking around your business. You don't know if they're working or not. Whereas with Afrizan, we manage that for you. We will take your 100 learners. We will ensure that they'll get trained.
sure.
We'll ensure that they get real
Yeah,
work experience.
yeah,
Um, and that that the learnership is completed successfully. We don't like ticking
sure, yeah,
boxes for the
sure.
sake of
Yeah,
ticking boxes. We
yeah,
want people to have that real life experiential learning, going into a live environment and
yeah.
experiencing it for what it is.
Right.
So yeah,
Excellent.
there's quite a few things. Like I said, Johan, at some point when you have some extra time, I'd like
Yeah.
to do a separate podcast on all the
The
offerings
next one will be
of
just on the
Excel.
offerings. Yeah. Um, Berenice, how does Afrizan ensure good sustainable development practices?
So I think I've touched on with our youth excels and with our learnerships, through our
Yeah,
youth employment
yeah,
initiatives, our skills development programs, our transformation efforts, and our responsible business practice. Um, you know, that is the only way I think any business will remain sustainable, and that is
Yeah,
especially important for us is to empower the youth of tomorrow.
yeah,
Uh, and we do that, like I said, it's not a tick box exercise for us. It is something we take seriously, and something we want to develop.
yeah. Excellent. Um, and what systems has the company put in place to manage the company as a world-class institution?
So we have very strong governance structures, compliance around our contracting. We have performance management frameworks, quality assurance, and then our compliance standards, as well as technology-enabled operations. We do have an ATS that we house all our candidate information. We house
Yeah,
it responsibly in terms of POPI. So in terms of system support, it's there. With the dawn of AI, we're seeing there's so much stuff that we can do smarter, and that is
yeah,
something that we are embracing at this point. We are doing a lot
yeah.
of internal development on our
Okay.
systems, because I think although we an integrated business, a lot of our data is siloed. Graduates sit in a silo,
Yeah, yeah.
C-suite sit in a silo. So we want to try and integrate that across the platforms, and that is
Excellent.
something that we are looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we look globally, how can Afrizan contribute and enhance and develop South Africa's corporate competitiveness on a global stage?
So I think there's a stat out there that Africa and South Africa has the youngest populations in the world, and
True.
the way we can do that is to build future skills. I do think in terms of competitiveness, uh, a lot of countries around the world are suffering with aging populations. Um,
Yeah,
you know, it's something that interests me when I look at Japan and
yeah,
Britain
yeah.
and places like that where they have falling birth rates.
Mm,
So, in terms of competitiveness and in terms of sustainability, we need to
yeah,
start building future skills, not just for the African and South African market, but for the global market.
yeah. And then, as you know, in today's world, one must have the ability to deal with the unexpected, basically nowadays on a daily basis. How does Afrizan deal with the unexpected?
So I like telling the story of COVID. No one expected it to happen.
Sure.
And smaller agencies than ours closed down, even bigger agencies than ourselves closed.
Yeah,
But I do
mm,
believe that it was in our ability to pivot and in
yeah,
our ability to diversify that we
yeah,
were able to beat the odds at the time. So how we deal with the unexpected, like I said earlier, we try and stay ahead of the curve, not all the time, but we do listen to rumblings on the vine. We do
yeah,
listen to a lot of news in the market, and we try and gear up as best we can, so that when the deluge does hit, we kind of have our footing and we're not caught off guard.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Right.
but
Yeah,
yeah, like you say, anything. I mean, we don't know, especially in today's economy and market. But we do try and stay abreast, and we do
yeah,
try as a business to pivot where we can.
yeah. And if we look locally, what is Afrizan doing to improve the quality of life of communities in South Africa, in and around Johannesburg? You mentioned Alexandra, in terms of poverty alleviation, fighting HIV/AIDS, and other socioeconomic issues. And then with that, you also mentioned it briefly. Tell us a little bit about Afrizan's impact on youth employment opportunities in South Africa.
Okay, so in terms of improving quality of life, I'll start there. Is through our impact sourcing, we're going to communities where people have little to no opportunities, and that is where we do our impact sourcing from. We like to believe that for every one person we employ, four people are impacted. So
Yeah,
so we strongly believe in empowering our youth to become economic contributors to the
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah.
So whether you're earning a 3,000 rand stipend or a 30,000 rand salary, and that is why I think even where our call center situated, our contact center situated, it's close to Alex, so the people are not spending too much getting to work. So, in terms of improvement of life and the quality of lives, every job we can create.
Yeah.
Um, Saves another family from poverty. And
Yeah.
then with the impact on youth unemployment currently is, that our youth employment is currently sitting around 54%,
So,
and creating a meaningful employment opportunities is not it's not only a business priority for Afrizan, but a social imperative.
yeah.
Um, we believe that one of the most impactful ways to address unemployment is by connecting young people to real workplace opportunities.
Yeah.
And that is what we do through our Youth Excels program, through our BPO program, learnerships, and yes. And
Yeah.
then, and then, and another thing that I'd like to mention for uh, Afrizan is that through programs such as Youth Excels and Yes, um, where we have helped thousands of South Africans gain meaningful employment. And to date, we've reached around 6,000 unemployed youth through our
Sure.
education, training, and development programs. This is spanning over about 8 years, Johan. We wish it was double the number.
That's
But
impressive.
we work with where we can, and that we do a lot of training, and just kind of I wish I had someone here to talk to you about the impact of what Youth Excels has had on their lives. We have so many
Yeah.
success stories
Yeah.
where we've taken graduates, put them into meaningful work, experiential learning programs, and today they managers or team leaders.
Yeah.
So it is great work. We really, as a company, wish we could do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps at some stage we can also have an interview with one of those people that was involved in this program.
Absolutely, we can.
Yeah. Can you expand a bit on Afrizan's women's empowerment initiatives?
So we are a woman-owned company. So it's important for us that you know it's not they say it's a man's world. I don't think so anymore. I do think that women have made inroads into corporates. I mean, if you look at the new CEO at FNB, a female. So it's amazing that the work that is going, that's not really contributed by us, but we do look at development causes, we look at career initiatives,
Yeah.
inclusive workplace practices. So that is something that's important to us to grow as well as a
Yeah.
woman-owned business.
Excellent. And then, what is your vision for the academy and for Afrizan?
So our vision for Afrizan is we aspire to be the leading people solutions provider in South Africa, as well as in training and development. We 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 have this dream of, or I'll call it a vision of the ecosystem that we want to create for staff, where we engage, we train. Once we are happy with training, we deploy. And we,
Oh,
we don't just want to do that on a small scale, so
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's important for us. So apart from being a people solutions provider, we
yeah,
also
yeah.
want to give the market skills, not just people,
Sure.
but people with skills that
Yeah,
can come
excellent.
in and provide
Yeah,
and give you value from the first day.
exactly. Great. Um, and what is how would you say, how is the talent acquisition and the workforce solutions industry changing in South Africa?
So this is it's very interesting for me. I do think with recruiters, we will become more of subject matter experts in terms of data, in
Okay.
terms of people locations, more than recruitment, um, because of AI.
Yeah,
Everyone is running the recruitment on AI, but I can't recruit people. People recruit people. At the end
Exactly.
of the day, the AI is not going to be able to say, Berenice was actually came across quite warm in the interview or
Yeah,
knowledgeable.
sure.
They're just going to give you
Yeah,
the pure data. And that
yeah,
is, I think, where as recruiters, we still
yeah,
have a very important role to play in being
yeah,
able to, even though I may not look good on paper, getting you in front of the client for them to
yeah,
experience you.
yeah,
That's the important thing.
yeah. Excellent. And then I just lastly, I have a couple of fun questions for you. Um, you mentioned your first job was in a flower shop. Do you want
Yes,
to elaborate on that a
yes,
bit?
sure, sure.
And,
So,
at a
okay,
very
so
young
my
age.
my very first formal role, I worked at a company called TNH Rug. They're now Continental Linen, and I started there as a creditor's clerk way
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
If I tell you I earned 500 Rand, that will be giving my age away, right? But before that, I spent most of my weekends and school holidays. As a teenager, I worked at Clicks as packing shelves. And then
Okay.
even before that, my parents had a flower shop, which all the
Yeah.
children had to work in because my
Yeah.
mom
Yeah.
made the most beautiful
Great.
flowers and stuff. So it's always been work. Has always been, I think, part of our lives. And I
Yeah.
believe in the value of hard work and
Yeah. Yeah.
earning my way.
Yeah. Great.
So working has always been a part of my
Part of
life.
your life. Yeah.
And those early experiences has taught me responsibility,
Yeah.
discipline, and the importance
Excellent.
of taking pride in every role,
Yeah.
regardless of
What
the
you do.
size.
Excellent. What do you do for fun to relax?
Uh, I
Work.
suppose like
Don't say
every
work.
well, I do have my laptop on while I'm cooking, but I do enjoy cooking. It helps me de-stress. I love feeding my family. I love trying out new recipes. I've tried quite a lot of the TikTok recipes. I
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
enjoy reading.
Okay.
I'm
Great.
currently reading a book by Anne Duke called Quit.
Yeah.
But it's not about quitting your job. It's about knowing how to stay in business and how when to quit while you're ahead,
Yeah.
which is quite a interesting segue. Because
Yeah.
when I picked up the book, I thought how to quit. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I thought
It's
bad habits or
something.
whatever. But it's actually more around business. Actually, a very very good book to
Yeah.
read.
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
then puzzling. Uh, I enjoy puzzles. I do that on a Sunday afternoon to relax. It just helps me, you look at putting pieces together. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that explains me as a person as well.
Yeah. Great. Excellent. And your secret talent, or what was a secret talent up to this
Oh,
stage?
well, like I say, my secret talent is trying all the TikTok recipes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I don't really have a secret talent. I
Cooking,
love, I
building
love
puzzles.
cooking. For being with my family is
Yeah.
very important for me, and just spending time with them. Now that my children are big, I'm getting to know them a little bit as adults.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so those are amazing
Yeah.
things for me to experience now.
And then if I can ask you what makes you good at what you do? Dedication, hard work.
Yes, I'm also a solutions minded person.
Yeah.
I like to think about things before if I've got an issue on my plate, I'll try and solve the problem before I take it to someone. And I think I appreciate it when people do the same for me.
Yeah.
I'm also, I believe, I'm consistent. So people know me every day. I come in, I'm the same, unless I didn't have a good morning, which is
Yeah.
maybe once a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but I think consistency is very important for a leader. It's underrated, I think, as a leadership quality.
Yeah.
People may not always agree with decisions that I make, but they
Yeah.
should always know that it's a fair and it's
Yeah.
transparent and it's consistent, and that is how I lead. So
Yeah.
that is what makes me good at what I do.
And what legacy would you like to leave behind?
Mm. If through my leadership, um, guidance, or support, I've helped someone realize
Yeah.
their potential, overcome challenges, or achieve more than they believe possible, then I will consider that a life well lived.
And that's also what you're passionate about.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I've really been one of the lucky ones. I'm in a job that I love, doing what I love every day. So
Excellent.
I don't think there's a lot of people who are blessed the way I've been blessed.
Yeah. Excellent. Any other points that you would like to highlight?
Um, so I just think that at the heart of everything we do, people matter. I think in the industry, whether you're in recruitment or not, whether you work in a big bank or a corporate, you're not working by yourself. You are working with people, and people matter. And our
Very
success
important.
lies in our relationships and our partnerships with people. So those are my final thoughts. Is people are important. We all are experiencing challenges. Just be kind.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
know what people are experiencing
Yeah.
at any
Yeah.
point in the time,
Yeah.
in any
Exactly.
point of the day.
Great. Excellent. Berenice, thank you very much. On that note, we conclude. Thank you for your time and your trouble today. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Johan. We'll chat again.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of our episode today. Thank you, Berenice, for participating in our episode. And when people are recognized, they feel connected and counted, and they become passionate about their work, their life, and their purpose. And our mission remains to recognize excellence across Africa, honor high performing teams, and establish benchmarks for organizational performance. Thank you and have a good day.